Hi there. In this video we are going to be taking a look at this crimp tool. The model is HSC8 6-4 and it can take wires from 0.25 to 6 square millimeters. AWG 23 to 10, which means the same thing but in another unit of measurement, let's say like that. So let's get to it. Okay, so I got this whole thing, the whole pack, $20, something like that, maybe 25 delivered from my country, and it's this thing itself plus lots of terminations. Not sure what's the proper term in English, so I will use terminations. Here you have them, number of pieces. They should be plenty for what I'm doing around the house. And let's get this thing also out of the box. I preferred this type because it will really uniformly squeeze these things from 4 directions compared to others that just squeeze them like this, something, or weird ways, or only like this. From 4 directions, in my opinion, it was the best option. And yeah, it's a bit weird. Here we see other colors, there we see other colors, but it's orange. And the box itself, honestly, is the most unbranded product that you could ever get. Only the name of the tool. Sneezed, so bless myself. Any info if you need it right here also. So that's about that. I think I already took a quick look when I got this the first time. Some simple instructions right here. Let me undo them if I can with one hand. They tell you extremely simply how to use this, and honestly it's a simple tool, so it should be enough. You clean the wire, the end of it, and you crimp it, and if it's not crimped enough, you adjust this thingy, which can increase or decrease the crimping pressure. And that's about that. And it has a latch somewhere down there. It's a clicket that it will release, or it can latch so the tool stays a bit closed. And in theory you need to go to the end for this to release, so you cannot half crimp it by mistake. So there is no half crimping. You are always 100% to the end every single time. And weirdly enough, in here we have 23 to 7. I think on the other side was another number for AWG. So let me put this to work and get back to you. But up until now this thing seems built like a brick, honestly. It's really heavy, thick metal, works perfectly every single time. So I don't see any issue with it. Let's get to work. Yes, I'm expecting this to be quite low quality, but not that big of a problem, I think. Okay, starting to make some bridge wires with this ancient tool. I will clean the ends because I forgot my newer and easier to use tool anyway. And I will choose from here the one that fits. And in theory for this wire, 2.5 millimeter, the blue ones, which are a lot, and that's perfect. And then we will crimp it and see how it works. Okay, so this is ready. Let's just try and crimp it. And yes, it's going to be a bit harder because I'm also trying to film. Let's make sure it's right up to the end, and crimp to the max and release. And as you can see, perfectly crimped wire. And yes, obviously you pull on it to make sure that the crimping force is correct, and it is. And I want to show you it's much better than this version, which only puts 2 small indentations on the wires. This one crimped uniformly all around. So let me do this about a few hundred times and get back to you. Okay, we've been working with this thing for a few days already, and honestly it's the next best thing since sliced bread. It crimps them extremely well, and I ended up using another type, these ones that don't have the plastic, because they fit much better and work much better with these particular units. I think they are Schneider that we are using. The ones with the plastic don't go as deep in as they should. These ones go perfectly deep, and you can only see the start of so basically from here the wire, so no copper is exposed when you are using this with these particular ones. The plastic would not go deep enough inside. And yeah, somebody else that's working on the house noticed these things, and he said he wants one of these because it crimps much better than the stupid ones that crimp only from 2 sides. So yeah, that's about it. And yes, for everything to go much quicker, you also need one of these, which is a cheap no-name from China that strips wires and at the same time throws the end of the stripped wire away. You can see them in the box in there. So it's going extremely well. Without this, it honestly would have been extremely complicated. And yes, if you need just for a few of them without the plastic, you can actually remove the plastic. You just need to slowly tap on them while they are with their front on some piece of wood or something, and the plastic will go down. But I bought these ones directly without the plastic, it's easier. So I will continue to work, but this thing is great. Just wanted to add something. For some this might not be obvious. There is a way to hold this thing in your hand. So the fixed part, the one right here, you hold it with your fingers, and this part that actually moves, you hold it with your palm. You can actually work with it in reverse, but it's extremely hard because you need with your pinky to pull a lot of force. Like this, much easier to do. So yeah, just wanted to put this info out there. Without it, doing all of these sockets and switches and connections would have been much more complicated. And I'm confident in the connections that it makes. It didn't go wrong, not even once. So I highly recommend you get it. You won't be disappointed, honestly. But try not to get a cheap copy or something. So buy it from a good seller, a reputable seller. Okay, so I've used this thing even on a 10mm. It worked flawlessly without absolutely any adjusting. So yeah, that's the end of the video. This thing is awesome and I highly recommend it.